What a hell of a time for the Joe Biden campaign to decide they should hold a women's issue town hall, considering the fact that Joe Biden is now being credibly accused of sexual assault by a former staffer. Also, a hell of a decision to partner with Hillary Clinton, the person who unapologetically smeared the women who came forward to accuse her husband not only of sexual assault, but actual rape. So very interesting decisions from the Biden campaign. This video is going to cover the worst of the worst moments of Joe Biden's women's issue town hall with Hillary Clinton, because frankly, it's not worth your time to watch the entire thing. At the time of this recording, Joe Biden's women's issue town hall had 50,000 views. So we're hoping to smash through that. So please make sure that you like the video, comment, and do share it so we can make sure more people see what happened. Now we're going to start this video the same way that Joe Biden started his town hall, with a moment of silence.
Hello, everyone.
So that was 24 seconds for those keeping track at home. It took 24 seconds for the Joe Biden campaign to let him know that the live stream had already started. Now, during this town hall on women's issues, you might be surprised to learn that Joe Biden did not at any point mention or even respond to the allegations against him levied by Tara Reade, a former staffer, the allegations that he sexually assaulted her. I'm not going to get into it because it's incredibly graphic, but we have other videos covering that. Joe Biden did, though, claim that he's against violence against women. Let's listen to that.
Violence against women is a huge problem, and especially right now. And Hillary and I have worked very hard on trying to end violence against women, wrote that legislation, and it's been one of the leading causes of my life. I've met thousands of domestic violence victims for real, and I'm trying to get the law passed and finally getting it passed and working beyond that. And it's heartbreaking to know the suffering they have experienced and are experiencing. But I also know how much courage they have. Our support for victims has to match the courage they show every day. First, I want victims to know they are not alone. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is there for them. It might be hard to make that call when you are essentially...
So that's Joe Biden deciding to make a claim that he's against violence against women when he is now being accused of committing violence against women. These next couple clips have made the rounds on social media. They appear to show Joe Biden falling asleep. Let's look at this.
Of those people on the front lines, do you know 80% of all healthcare workers in America are women? And 1 out of 3 jobs held by women in our country has been classified as essential. So this is an issue that affects all of us, young and old, every kind of.
So the Biden campaign has come out and said that he wasn't sleeping. He was just reading his notes. But it sure does look like he was sleeping. And when your nickname is Sleepy Joe, maybe you should not leave any of that to guessing.
Back in the White House to end the kind of disregard. Back in the White House to end the kind of disregard of not only American values, but American institutions, the rule of law.
The Biden campaign is claiming that he wasn't sleeping. He was just reading his notes. But at this point, when your nickname is Sleepy Joe, maybe you shouldn't leave any of that up to guesswork.
Back in the White House
there it goes again.
To end the kind of disregard of not only American values, but American institutions, the rule of law, and so much else that is at stake because of the current occupant.
Yeah, so Sleepy Joe, if you're not sleeping, then you should maybe keep your eyes open. And it's one thing to say that the first clip was him reading his notes, because we know his notes are on his right, but on the second clip, he's looking down and to his left. This next cut is actually very important because it's mirroring something we've heard from the Obama administration, something we've heard from other congressional Democrats nowadays. It's that we shouldn't let this crisis go to waste, and that the left wants to use this crisis to push through their own radical agenda items. Let's listen to this comment from Hillary Clinton.
And then it needs to be part of a much larger system that eventually and quickly, I hope, gets us to universal health care. So I can only say amen to everything you're saying, but also to, again, enlist people that this would be a terrible crisis to waste, as the old saying goes.
So that's apparently what the Democrats want to do. We know that. They're trying to use this as an excuse to push through their agenda items. I will note that Joe Biden did appear to doze off in that clip as well. Here's another cut where Joe Biden apparently wants to endorse Hillary Clinton again.
And I'm really thrilled to have my friend, the former senator and former Secretary of State, and the woman who should be President of the United States right now, Hillary Clinton. Welcome, Hillary. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's a real pleasure to be here with you.
So that happened. Joe Biden thinks that Hillary Clinton should have been president. I mean, a lot of leftists believe that, but thank God the rest of the country disagreed. But Joe Biden has something to say to those people as well. Usually politicians go to great lengths to criticize other politicians, but to leave the people out of it. Here's Joe Biden scolding swing states for how they acted during the 2016 election.
Well, I have to tell you something completely honestly, straightforward. I wish this were us doing this and my supporting your re-election for President of the United States. You won the majority of the vote. I think the way in which some of the states acted was just, anyway, we would not, we'd have problems.
So it's important because it's not just a faux pas. That is Joe Biden actually scolding the states for how they acted, not for choosing the wrong candidate, but he truly believes that the states that elected Donald Trump acted wrong. Again, going against the better advice that politicians can attack other politicians, but they shouldn't attack the voters themselves. Now, here is a clip that was actually put out by the Trump campaign, just highlighting that Joe Biden needed to look at his notes continuously to know what he was supposed to say.
President Trump is on the record from his, President Trump is Trump.
They sped it up, they slowed it down, they zoomed in just so you can make sure that you know that Joe Biden was looking at his notes the whole time. Because obviously with something like this, where you're on a computer screen, it's possible to use a teleprompter, but it's a lot harder to do, especially when you have a campaign like Joe's that can't even remind the candidate when the live stream has already started. This last clip is possibly the worst because it shows how bad Joe Biden's judgment actually is. This is Joe Biden promising that he's going to continue to call Hillary Clinton to ask for her advice.
Everybody, I want to thank Hillary for joining us in this conversation today. And Hillary, I'm going to keep calling and asking for your advice.
Go ahead, Joe. There is nothing better for the Trump campaign than for you to drag Hillary Clinton out of the woods and into your campaign videos. If you want to make her a centerpiece of your campaign, go ahead. I encourage it. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Please do make sure that you give it a like, do comment, and please do share it. It really helps us as we try to grow the channel. Thanks.